So guys, there have been a lot of outrage because of the plan by northern leaders to close down schools because of Ramadan. So many people have been raging, saying in the north, where we have the most number of out of school children, we have, so many beggars on the street. They are Almajiri children that they've denied Western education. You can imagine what the future of these children look like. Also, we have northern leaders whose children are in the UK, which is a Christian country. They are there getting the best of education, but the northerners are there being deprived of even the little education they are supposed to get, even if it's just primary school. They are depriving them of all that in the name of Almajiri. They want to stick to Islamic education. Now, they want everybody to be affected by the Ramadan celebration, saying that all the schools, whether you are a private school, you are a missionary school, you are a government-owned school, any school must shut down. They want everybody to be at home, even if you are not practicing Islam. The Sharia law is overtaking Nigeria. Many people are lamenting over what is going on in this country. You just ask yourself, how did we get here? How did we get here? In a country whose economy is struggling, they want to shut down activities. Teachers will not be in school. Children will not be in school. These women who sell pure waters to school children, those of them that sell food to school children, you can imagine for days they won't make any money. And they won't know where the next meal is going to come from. All these things are going to affect the economy directly or indirectly. And moreover, nobody is being prevented from practicing his or her religion. But guess what? Bringing everybody under the umbrella of that religion in terms of, shutting down all schools, be it private or public, be it missionary or just normal school, is wrong. We must call a spade a spade. They cannot be forcing people, for God's sake. We've seen in the north where Sharia law is being, they want everybody to obey that law. And people obey it in the north because, yes, we have found ourselves in the north. See, in this country, the north keep proving that they own Nigeria. It is clear that northern Nigeria keep proving to Nigerians that they are the sole owners of Nigeria. Because things that happen in the north that is being tolerated can never happen any other place. And Nigeria will still remain the same. Look at how Deborah was spied in the name of religion. Until today, northern leaders all kept quiet because she's a Christian. And they will say Christians are infidels. The way they look down on you. You can imagine if that lady or what happened to Deborah had happened to her in the southwest or even in the southeast. You know how it would have been twisted. And moreover, if she was to be a Muslim, and then a Christian person ignite fire on her, you know what that would have led to. But all these things happened because, they believe they own Nigeria, and till today, nobody is held for Deborah's, demise. Nobody. Anyway, guys, I'm going to allow you to take a look at these reactions, just for you to know what people are saying. Take a look.
The religion of peace is at it again. So, all private schools in Katsina must close for Ramadan fast. Hishbab board. Make this make sense. Nigeria is a secular state. We are not a theocratic state, right? We are not an Islamic state. But then in one of the states in Nigeria, the Islamic board has declared that all schools must close for the Ramadan fast. Must close for the Ramadan fast. How does that even work? And these are the same people that will say, oh no, Sharia law is meant for only, Muslims. Sharia law is not meant for everybody. But every day we see how Sharia law is being enforced on even people who are not Muslims. I can tell you that if the government does not intervene and private schools actually open during the Ramadan fast, there will be a crisis. So much for peace. So much for peace. If you're a Muslim and you're watching this, you don't have to be triggered. You don't have to be defensive. All you have to do is to call out the bullocks that some of your brothers or Muslim brothers and sisters actually support. Because when you talk to some Muslims, they're like, oh no, we don't do that. But then the general representation of the things that we see in the media and the things that we've experienced says otherwise. And it begs the question, so what are the same Muslims doing? What are they saying? How do they fight against this oppression that comes from some Islamic sects? What are you guys doing exactly? Because I don't understand why I need to shut down my school as a must because of a Ramadan fast. Why? When Christians are fasting, we don't shut down schools. We don't shut down schools. We don't ask people who are not Christians to suffer with us.
I want to address our northern leaders. I want to emphasize on doing things that are right. We cannot continue to be taking a region backward. I don't see the reason for the state governments of other states in the north to declare that schools must all go down or close down for the Ramadan. The last time I was in Dubai, Ramadan was on. Nobody was compelled. Schools were running. Schools have been running in northern Nigeria while the Ramadan is on. Why should we get ourselves always entangled into some crisis or setback? This is unacceptable. Northern Nigerian leaders, we must learn to do things that are right. Not everybody is a Muslim, and not everybody is compelled to fast. Ramadan should be a choice. It should not be something that should be compelled. Children are going to school, you want to put them on 30 days off. For what sake? We have to get things right. And I advise the governors of northern Nigeria to do what is right. This is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. We cannot punish everybody and compel everybody for what is a choice. Let's allow children to go to school. We have seen what we have gone through because of illiteracy in northern Nigeria. We cannot afford to close down all schools. Get things right. We don't accept this. And so these bans should be reversed. God bless Nigeria. God bless Nigerians.
Four northern states of Katsina, Kebbi, Kanu, and Bauchi announced a shutting down of all schools because of Ramadan. There have been reactions from civil society groups. The matter is more of concern following revelations from the National Bureau of Statistics that the four states have the highest number of out-of-school children. According to the NBS's Multidimensional Poverty Index, Bauchi State has the highest percentage of children lacking access to education, with a figure of 54%. Kano State follows with 35%, Katsina 38%, and Kebbi at 45%. On the average, these four states have 44% of children deprived of education, which is 10 percentage points higher than the national average of 34%. Dr. Sam Amadi is here to help us make sense of all that you just had read out in that story. Dr. Sam, glad to have you join me.
Thank you. Good evening.
Maybe we should start at where Khan says it's prepared to seek legal recourse. Let me quote what they said here. He says, "Our pursuit of peace does not diminish our commitment to justice."
Well, I think Khan is the umbrella of Christian in Nigeria, so it has some locals, especially since some of their members operate schools, okay? Some of them are private schools, some of them are perhaps church-based schools. So the issue of going to court is a peaceful process to resolve conflicts in a democracy. So there's nothing untoward about indication of going to court. What has been problematic is a protest or some kind of, civil quote-unquote street action. So that's good. But again, stepping back, what are the issues here? So first, the government has a right to declare public holiday. So this is not the sense of power to declare public holiday. So for example, we know that even the Ramadan itself, the day of the end of the fast, will be a public holiday, 2 public holidays. Nigeria has been very fair and balanced in public holiday. In fact, some of us think probably we have too many public holidays, okay? But I think if you look at Christmas, which is actually 25th, and the Boxing Day, the government gives 2 days to celebrate Christmas. Gives 2 days for the Fite, the Kabaya, and Easter and all that. So there have been some argument that says, oh, during December we shut down, but that's not true. For example, civil servants work, when I was NEC chairman, we closed 23rd, so 24th, 25th, and people were supposed to resume the next Monday. We've never had whether for Christians or Muslims, a period where 5 weeks we've shut down schools to celebrate Ramadan. That's one. Two, let's bear in mind that this is not an action on behalf of imams or the Supreme Council of Islamic. This is just fortuitous by the governor. So it's not a case of Muslims clamoring that they need 5 weeks to have meaningful, fast. Many of us are going to partake in the breaking of fast with our Muslim friends. We know that this is a very serious global activity. It doesn't require government's action to enable it to happen. People have been fasting, whether in Saudi Arabia, in the UK, in Nigeria, anywhere in the world. The religious structure is very clear.
Yeah.
You fast, you break your fast. I know that some of businesses allow Muslims perhaps to go early. Some will leave office like 4 or 5.
I think on Fridays
to prepare, even working days.
Okay.
Yeah, just to support, know that, maybe some will need to go home early to prepare.
Okay.
But nothing calls for
5 weeks.
5 weeks of school closure. Again,
especially when you think about the fact, I'm not stopping you, but these states already face alarming rates of out-of-school children.
So first is the fact that there's really no religious justification for this. There's no history of it. There's no clamor by Muslim faithful who fast regularly and fast well that, look, they needed to have that happen. That's number one. Number two, now let's look at the human development. So if there's no overriding state interest and there's no overriding religious reason for this, then it's mere populism by the governors, maybe a mistaken notion that they will be seen as too faithful, or some kind of, novelty. That's how we got the Sharia.
Doc, because of time, I'll ask you two questions straight out.
Yes.
And one, does this then give credence to the ongoing call for restructuring? That's one. And then two, the NBF Middle Belt Forum is asking the president to exercise his authority to prevent these states from descending into what they call religious fundamentalism. Well,
the issue of restructuring has been there. 3 dimensions. One is geopolitical in terms of, but also the state-religious relationship in Nigeria has been problematic. If you look at from the 1957 Northern Nigerian Conference, Northern Nigerian scholars agreed to take out Sharia from private domain, from public domain. In 1956-59, it was a debate in London what to do with religion. 1979. But we had that concession that religion should not become part of public policy. But we've done more to violate that commitment in terms of whether support for Christian Muslim pilgrimages. I'm of the view that the Nigerian government continuously intermingles too much with religion, not to make religion good, not even to, in fact, to oftentimes desecrate the spirituality of religion itself, but also make it problematic. So this kind of action, 5 days, I mean, some of the schools, probably not Muslim schools, some of the Christian schools, or secular schools, I think this is overreach. I think this is really irresponsible, considering the human development indicators. And the fact that this does not in any way add to the experience of faithful Muslims who have been fasting. Look, most of these kids are going to be school kids who probably are not going to even do that kind of level of fasting.
So under 45 minutes, what MBF is saying, is it feasible? President should, you've talked...
the president can use not bulletproof it, but nudging to say, look, governors, this doesn't look good. Look at the data and what are you going to achieve. The president always has influence to nudge them. Now, this is not going to be a case of, commandeering resources, but if the president is so mad about this, he could have a ways to show them that his displeasure. Because look, this is gratuitous, this is unnecessary, unreasonable, not religiously edifying, basically doesn't make sense in the context of gross, educational underdevelopment, and the fact that it adds zero to the experience. Muslims have been fasting well. Now, in Saudi Arabia, anywhere in the world, there have not been a need to say close down schools. Okay, why not close down markets?
So just
why not close down government offices?
Good.
So basically, it's not accessory to fasting. This is just, maybe some kind of misdirected populism to show, the governor is really good, faithful guy.
So before I just let you go, apparently it will look so the rights of non-Muslims can't point that out. It's not protected here.
Yeah, but this is, if you shut down my school because of Muslims are going to, observe the religious activity, then it raises the issue of unconstitutionality. That is violation of the right to freedom of both religion and other freedom. So the state has no right to shut down. If you go to the court, if the court is wise, constitutional law theory, they'll ask what is the overriding state interest in shutting down schools for Ramadan a private religious experience. Zero. Any good judge will nullify the executive action of the government.
All right. Well, Khan has asked them, is asking them to reconsider their stance. Otherwise, like they said, they may take recourse to the courts. Thank you so much, Dr. Sam Amadi, for being here.
Thank you.
So, guys, the kind of and the level of atrocities happening in this country, especially in the north, cannot be tolerated by anybody. Take it or leave it. What we are seeing in the north, it cannot be tolerated by anybody. Now we have northern Nigeria where, you know, people do anything. You know, Sharia law has been there. Had it been this law is existing in any other part of the country alongside the constitution, hey, guess what? Everywhere would have been on fire. Everywhere would have been on fire. But now it is being proven that northern Nigeria actually owns Nigeria, and nobody can dare them. Nobody can talk. Even Tinubu cannot talk. You see, in the midst of this, Tinubu is quiet because he doesn't want to talk so that he doesn't lose his chances of being re-elected. Although we know that the election in Nigeria is a scam. He is just trying to be, you know, a kind of to work with the North so that he will not have challenges when he goes to campaign in the North. So when you look at the happenings in the North, it is in the North that somebody was fired because the person was preaching. If that happens in the South, if a Northerner comes to the South and trying to pray and the person was spied, or try to talk to people about Islam and the person was spied, guess what? Nigeria will be on fire. So it is now beginning to sound and beginning to become clearer to everybody that the North actually believe they own Nigeria. Okay, if you own Nigeria, fine. Some people are saying they want to secede. Oduduwa is saying they want to secede. Biafran are saying they want to secede. What is your stand? It's only the North that is still resisting restructuring in this country. They resist restructuring and still they impose their laws on everybody. We've seen where some goods will be destroyed because it does not fall in good terms with Islam. They will destroy it and then it doesn't make any meaning to them. If that should happen in any other part of this country, the whole places will be in shambles. So guys, I don't know what you make of all these, you know, happenings in the North, that schools are going to be shut down because some people want to have their way. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Thank you.